Hello, boys and girls. It is Tuesday, March 24th. It's Math Fido Day 7. Today we're going to subtract unlike fractions. We're going to use Chapter 9, Lesson 6 notes. If you don't have your book and your notes out with you, please get them out at this time. You can pause the video. We're going to be on the second note page, which says Chapter 9, Lesson 6. Subtract unlike fractions, and we're going to start on book page 651. So if you will get to those two pages, that would be fantastic. Go ahead and pause it and get there now. Okay, you should have these notes in front of you that say Lesson 7, Subtract Unlike Fractions. This is in your gold note packet that I sent home before the cancellation of school. Subtracting unlike fractions is a lot like adding them. You've got to force the denominators to be the same using their least common multiple. You've got to adjust the numerators the same way that you change the denominators. You're going to subtract the numerators, leave the denominator the same. You're going to write it in simplest form. Let's take a look at the example that I have here in your notes for you. 5/12 minus 1/4. The least common multiple between 12 and 4 is 12. That's really nice because 5/12, as you can see, is not going to change not one bit. But 1/4 is going to need to change. We're going to change the 4, multiply it by 3 to make it 12. We're going to adjust our numerator. The 1, we're going to multiply by 3 to make it 3. We're going to subtract our numerators. 5 minus 3 is 2. We're going to leave our denominator a 12. Everybody see that there? Now, 2/12, we ask ourselves, is that in simplest form? And the answer is no, because I can take the 2 and the 12 and divide them both by 12. Do you see that? So I divide the 2 divided by 2 is 1. The 12 divided by 2 is 6. And I get 1/6. 1/6 we know is in simplest form because anytime there's a 1 in your numerator, the fraction you're looking at is in its simplest form. So take a look at that. Once you're done with that, you can put that over to the side. Remember, do not put it away. You might need it again. And now I'm looking at page, I'll show you right here, 651. And we're going to look at this word problem example. It says a female Cuban tree frog can be up to 5/12 foot long. A male Cuban tree frog can be up to 1/4 foot long. How much longer is the female Cuban tree frog than the male? Find 5/12 minus 1/4. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to force that 1/4 to now have a 12 in the bottom by multiplying by 3/3. On top, 1 times 3 is 3. We're going to subtract right here. 5 minus 3 is 2. We're going to leave our denominator 12. Now it's time to simplify. We're going to divide the top and the bottom by a common digit of 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1 on top. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So simply put, a female Cuban tree frog is 1/6 foot longer than the male. Take a look at that right there. Everybody okay there? Great. We're going to turn our page to page 652. Let me flip my book so that it'll still look okay for you guys. And let's take a look here at example 2. Jessie finished 1/2 of her homework. Lakshani finished 4/5 of her homework. How much more homework did Lakshani finish than Jessie? They show you that you can always use estimation to to help you get something close. And what they did here is they said, well, 4/5, that's almost like the whole entire thing, whereas 1/2 is 1/2. If I have 1 and I take away half, I'll be left with half. Everybody okay there? This is just an estimate. This is not the exact answer. The exact answer they began work on here, we're going to help them finish it. They are subtracting 4/5, take away 1/2. They decide to make the denominators 10 because you can change a 5 into a 10 by multiplying by 2. You can change the 2 into a 10 multiplying by 5. Now over here on 4/5, we multiplied the 5 times 2. So we have to multiply the 4 times 2 to make it 8/10. Over here on 1/2, they multiplied the 2 times 5. So on top, they have to multiply the 1 times 5 to make it 5/10. We subtract just like we would like fractions because they are like fractions now. Their denominators are the same. So we subtract our numerator. 8 minus 5 is 3. We keep our denominator the same, which is a 10. We ask ourselves, is there a number besides 1 that we could divide into 3 and divide into 10 to write this in simplest form? There is not a number that will go into 3 and 10 besides 1. So we are going to leave it 3/10. So Lakshani finished 3/10 more of her homework than Jessie. 3/10 is about equal to our estimate of 1/2. So we can feel good about our answer. Let's try one more example together here. You'll see they have not done much work for us at all on this one. We have to ask ourselves, can we make these denominators the same? And we can. And in this example, we can actually make the smaller denominator into the bigger denominator. So we're going to leave 3/8 alone. We are going to change 1/4 into a certain amount of 8s. And the 4 we would multiply by 2 on the bottom. So we're going to multiply by 2 on top. This 1/4, we're actually going to rewrite it as 2/8. They're the same amount. Just 1/4 uses smaller numbers to name that amount than 2/8. And now we're ready to subtract. Subtract the top. 3 minus 2 is 1. Leave 8 alone on the bottom. We ask ourselves, is this in simplest form? And yes, it is. Anytime there's a 1 in the top of a fraction, you know it's in simplest form. Today's work from our Fido Day 7 is to complete the questions here. You'll see them on page. We actually have to flip backwards, boys and girls. We're going to flip backwards to page 647. 647. There are 6 problems on this page. Now, the directions are going to say you should draw models. Do not draw models. Rather, force your denominators to be the same. Adjust your numerators. Subtract the numerators. Keep the denominators. And write each answer in simplest form to practice doing those 6 problems. Then you're going to turn to page 648, and you've got 2 more here you're going to do, numbers 9 and 10 on 648. These are simply word problems, still subtracting, unlike fractions. See them right there. And then what I want you to submit to me is you're going to turn forward again to page 655, and you're going to complete 655. There's 3 problems there. You're going to go over to 656. There's 4 more problems there. And you're going to take a picture of 655, 656, and you're going to email it to me. So just to review one more time, you did the book pages with me on my YouTube channel. You're now going to complete numbers 2, 3, and 4 on this list from Math Fido Day 7. You're going to do page 647, 648. There are 9 problems there. Numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's practice problems for you. And then you're going to complete pages 655, 656. There are 7 problems on that page. And those are the pages I want you to take a picture of and email it to me, amanda.steve@westernbeaver.org. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me also those questions. I'll be happy to answer. Again, I put 2 links here. YouTube, that's Mr. J, the YouTube one, and then also Khan Academy. So if you're still struggling with subtracting, unlike fractions, you could visit either of those websites there, and there's 2 more instructional videos. Miss you guys terribly. I can't wait till we can spend some more time together doing some math. All of our favorite activity, right? Right? You know it is. I'll talk to you again very soon. Take care.